So hi all ex-Energiers. So in this video I'm just going to walk you through day 1 and day 2 of the Druid Challenge 2020. So our 12th year of doing the Druid. It's going to be slightly different this year. Clearly because of COVID we can't do the overnights, but we're going to do 50 kilometers on day 1, 50 kilometers on day 2. Still on the Ridgeway, so you're still going to get the same experience, just not going to be exactly the same Druid as we've been doing the last decade and a bit. Anyway, let's dive straight into day 1. Okay, so I'm going to try and talk you through from the start here at Princes Risborough School. So you're entering via this road, you're parking in this area here. This will be the registration and start area. So we start coming out of the gates and the Ridgeway runs along here. So you're following the Ridgeway straight away. Let's just start the picture going. Now you've got a really nice climb to start with. This is a very steep climb up here, a set of steps taking you up until you get to the top of this big hill here just above Princes Risborough. So a nice warm up for you when you get going. And we're then going along the top of the Ridgeway and then we head down towards Whiteleaf, and this is near the Plough, near Chequers. I'm just going to pause it here. So there's nothing really much to tell you about this. It's all Ridgeway along here, reasonably flat, beautiful grassy countrysides as you're coming through here. And as you're coming around these field areas here, around the edge of this wood, you can see this is Chequers here, the Prime Minister's home, country home. So you're coming into Chequers, and then just looking at the bottom here, you can see the elevation. So that's your big climb to start with. Then you've got a slight climb. You kind of come down past the Plough pub at Cadston. And then you've got a slight climb here, not too much, until you start climbing up towards Coombe Hill just along here. So let's let it run. So we're following through and we're climbing up. After we've gone past Chequers, we're climbing up into this wood here and we're following along. This is actually Jackie Stewart's house here, the Formula 1 driver. And then we come to Coombe Hill, and at the top of Coombe Hill, you've got some fabulous views all across the Chilterns here. It then comes down into Wendover, and once you're in Wendover, you take a sharp right along off the High Street, and then you're following it up. Now, if you look at the climb, the ascent here, you'll see the profile. There's a bit of a climb coming up. This is a really steady climb all the way back up to the top of the Chilterns, all the way up this track, all the way up this road here until you get to the top of the Chilterns. So you're then coming along there. It's a nice steady climb up, great big wide Ridgeway trail, so really easy to follow. Following all around the edge of the top of the woods there, come down into, you've got a little bit of Wendover Woods, the edge of Wendover Woods. You don't actually go through Wendover Woods, thank goodness. And then coming across the fields towards Hastow, you'll see a big radio mast here you're heading for, which is just here. Coming through Hastow, into Hastow, bit of road here before you do a sharp left, and then into Tring Park. And this is a lovely avenue you run along here before you start heading down towards the A41. Let's just stop it there. So that was the A41 we just crossed over here as the internet catches up. So you're crossing over the A41 and over this road to Berkhamsted, and then you're following down past the Gallops as you come down towards Tring Station. Tring Station is just here, over the railway line, and then you're following the Ridgeway, sharp left as you come into the woods here, and then you're following the Ridgeway up to Pitstone Hill up here. So I'm just going to let it play to the end. So there we go, down over the canal, past the station, sharp left as you go into the Ridgeway area there, up towards Pitstone Hill, and then down towards our turning around point in the car park there. So that's the route for day 1 of the Druid. So it's a total of 1,110 metres of ascent. It's 51 kilometres because you're doing the route I've just shown you, and then you're turning around and running back the same way you just came. So it's going to be 555 metres of ascent on the way out and 555 metres of ascent on the way back. And it's around 51 kilometres in total, the distance. Okay, there we go. So that's day 1. That's your fly through of day 1. So 555 metres of ascent on the way out. when you get to the turnaround point, you turn around, you head back another 555 metres of ascent on the way back. So a total of roughly 51 kilometres from start to the turnaround point and back again. Beautiful Ridgeway all the way, great views, great run. So now let's have a look at day 2. Okay, so let's have a look at day 2 of the Druids. A little bit more straightforward and easier to follow, a lot more straight lines on day 2. Okay, so this is Princes Risborough School here. This is the sports hall. This is where you're parking, and then we're coming out of the gate here, and we're turning right this time instead of left. I know it says day 1 here. Ignore that. This is day 2. So let's just start playing it, and we'll see how it plays out. So you're going along the Ridgeway, sharp left onto the road here to Wickham. Cross over that road carefully. Bit of road. Then we've got a railway we need to cross over there. I'm just going to stop that and go back just a little bit there. So there's a railway line here we cross. So you've got to be careful crossing the railway line and just make sure that we are checking both ways. We will have someone there to check on that, but just be cautious when you're crossing the railway line, really important. You'll see from the elevation that there's not too much elevation throughout the day. It's 467 metres in total, but it's a steady climb up for this next piece here. So steady climb up. And then once you're up the top of the hill, you're coming down through a couple of fields, crossing a couple of minor roads. And then here you are now starting to join the classic main wide Ridgeway. Very chalky this section, can get very muddy as well. And you can see how straight the line is now. So we're going past Chinner. This is Chinner here. We're following the Ridgeway all along the bottom of the valley. It's a big wide byway, so it's got ruts in it, can get chewed up a little bit, can get a bit muddy in November. Good run, so we're coming all the way along under the M40. So that was the M40 that we just went past there. Just come back a little bit. So there's the M40 there, and you're going under the M40. Let's just move this forward. So you're going under the M40. All still following the valley along, still this big wide byway section of Ridgeway coming along. This is Watlington over here, where we normally stop on the first day of the Druid for those who've done it before. But we're just keeping going this time, not coming off. All the way along, still byway, still byway, still byway, until we get to this farm. It's North Farm, where there's a sharp left in the Ridgeway. Then we're following uphill. You can see we're climbing the hill here if you look at the profile at the bottom. So there's a bit of a climb up there. It's quite steep, that little hill through the wood there. And then we come out at the top and we've got some fabulous views across some great valleys here. Really, really beautiful. Another bit of a climb up as we're coming up this hill here. It's quite a narrow section. You go past some horse fields and stuff like that. Up the top. Just, again, it's all really well marked, well structured Ridgeway here. And we're going all the way until we get to this main road, which is the Henley Wallingford Road, where we turn round. So as I say, day 2's a lot simpler than day 1. It's faster, it can be muddier, but it's certainly a faster, flatter route, and you're turning around and you're running back. Total distance that day is just under 50.5 kilometers, is roughly about the distance for day 2. So there we go, that's the day 2 of the Druid. Okay, so that's the fly through of day 2. As I said in the video there, a lot simpler than day 1 in terms of ease of following. Much very, very long flat section on the bottom of the Chiltern Hills there. It's 467 metres of ascent on the way out, so turn that round, so you've got 930, 940 metres of ascent in total for day 2 and about 50.5 kilometres. So although day 1 we're going east on the Ridgeway, and day 2 we're going west on the Ridgeway, so you're still doing 100 kilometres of Ridgeway for the 12th year of the Druids. Sunday is of course Remembrance Day. We always do Remembrance Sunday for the Druids, so we'll also make that special this year as well. We look forward to seeing you. Hopefully that's been useful, and in the comments section below we'll put the links to these OS maps, these GPX files, so you can download them, have a look at them, that kind of thing. All right, look forward to seeing you in November.